it is really wonderful to be with you, and I have now been out of office for a little better than a year, and there are a lot of differences in my life, but the really biggest difference is that I can get up every morning and I can read the newspaper, and I don't think I have to do anything about what's in it, and that's really a great station in life. But in fact, I am, like you, worried about the challenges and the dilemmas that we face, and I'd like to take a little in their language. Even if you're not very good, it's very important to try. And study abroad. Have students from abroad come here, and you go there, because there is nothing like the experience of being in another culture. First of all, to make you appreciate what you have here, but also for you to appreciate that the differences between us are what makes the world so very exciting and so wonderful, but that those differences are not, as much of the world believes, a license to kill. And so I ask you to try here in this great place, Oklahoma State, to take advantage of this tremendous privilege of education. And I finally want to say to you and to all of you that you have one other obligation. We have an obligation as Americans, and that is an obligation to be optimistic. You know, whenever I feel at all down or felt at all down during some of the very difficult times that we went through, I remembered some of the hard times that America's been through before. In fact, during 2006, which was frankly just an awful year, I read that summer biographies of the Founding Fathers. And you realize that by all rights, the United States of America should never have come into being. 13 audacious states on the eastern seaboard fighting the greatest military power of the time with a third of George Washington's troops down to smallpox. It should never have happened, but it did. You think, too, about those people who came west across the Continental Divide. Have you ever been across the Continental Divide? They came across in covered wagons, not knowing what was on the other side, but they just kept going in hopes of a better life. They had to be incredible optimists. And this is a country which, of course, has a birth defect of slavery. But even in my hometown, Birmingham, Alabama, where I couldn't have a hamburger at the Woolworths, I had parents who had me absolutely convinced that I could still be President of the United States if I wanted to be, and by the way, I became Secretary of State instead. Americans are special because we are optimistic. Sometimes my European colleagues would say to me, oh, Americans are naive, and I would say, you know, I'd rather be naive than cynical, because cynical people can't lead. And the reason this country has led is because we have believed that what one day seemed impossible might, in retrospect, seem inevitable. And that has made us special. Not necessarily better, but special. Because, you know, just any other country would not have sent young men to the beaches of Normandy to fight for the rights and the freedoms of people that they didn't know. Just any other country would not have stood vigil in Europe until Europe could throw off communism and emerge whole, free, and in peace. Just any other country would not have stood vigil in Asia until Japan and South Korea could emerge as strong democracies. And just any other country wouldn't have men and women volunteering to help people in Kandahar and Kabul, Basra and Baghdad, to get a chance at a better life and to make ourselves safer in the process. You see, America's done this hard work before. And if we do these essential things, defending the country and healing failed states, and advocating for democracy and rebuilding this global economy on the basis of free market capitalism, and if we return to our essential roots and affirm again that we are a country where every American knows that it doesn't matter where you came from, it matters where you're going, then we're going to be all right. And if the United States of America is all right, then everybody else will be all right too. Because we are very lucky in this world that the freest, the most compassionate, and the most generous country on the face of the earth is also the most powerful. Thank you very much.